From a detailed rundown of the aspiring community hub Mindtail to Hytale community discussion and more, don't miss out on the latest on Hycast, starting right now.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Hycast, the premier Hytale podcast. I'm your host Fezzi, and today we're joined by Jodaman. Welcome to the podcast. We're glad to have you with us today.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm a big fan of the podcast, have been for a while now. It's pretty awesome to finally be on here. Yeah.
Appreciate that, man. It's cool to have you on here. So could you give us a little bit about yourself within the Hytale space, where you see yourself?
Yeah, I used to be part of the Minecraft community pretty heavily, at least back in the day. I took a little break from the internet, came back, saw the Hytale trailer. I loved it, like everyone else did. And so I decided to hop into the community, and I was like because it's so new, the game, the Hytale experience is so new. So I wanted to get into the community on the ground floor, and I found the Hytale podcast and a bunch of other things while looking for videos from the community. And so I just wanted to become a part of it. So I started making content for Hytale, and this is where I am at now.
Cool. So let's just hop right into your work and contributions to the community. So the first thing we will talk about is the Hycast intro animation, which you made for us back in November of 2019 after the revival of this channel. So what inspired you to create this animation for us, and how did you go around doing it?
All right, so like I said, I was looking through some Hytale content on YouTube because I wanted to get into the community from the ground up. And I'd say I found some other people. I think I found Quebec Corner's channel first, but I found your guys' channel, Hycast. Subscribe to Hycast after a while, and I loved it because it's just so chill. And especially since I know that you guys had a new start to the channel recently, I guess I got there just right in time because I got the first episode, and I was like, this is awesome. And not only is it awesome, but it's professional too. And I thought, it needed I had a gut feeling it needed an intro, so I was like, I'm just gonna go make an intro. And I downloaded your Twitter avatar and your Twitter banner, split it up using Photoshop, and threw it together into an intro.
And I must say, it turned out wonderful.
Thank you.
So some of the things you're known for is your video editing, graphics design, and your unique 2D animation style. So what are some of the interesting things you've worked on in the past, and how did you get into video editing in particular?
In the past, like I said, I used to be part of the Minecraft community, so a lot of my work in the past is in the Minecraft community. I used to work for different Minecraft YouTubers like Bayesian Canadian and Moosecraft, just editing their Let's Play videos. I used to edit some Mythbusters style videos for Benja channel, which were fun. So I've been editing in the community for quite a while now. For people who haven't ever done editing before, I've always said that the best place all the time forever is just go to YouTube, look up what you need to know, and find a tutorial for it. That's what I've been doing my whole life. I've been editing since I was 10. And every time I ran into a roadblock of I don't know how to do this, I just Googled it, found a YouTube tutorial, and I've been on that road ever since. And after a while, the knowledge just starts piling up, and you can do whatever you need.
Right, and I actually can relate to this and say that's exactly how it works, because I've been editing forever as well. And I mean, you kind of just end up teaching yourself the software after a while, and you get good at it. And for anyone that's intimidated by it, just look up tutorials, because it'll break it down for you. I know certain UIs can seem very intimidating.
For sure.
So
that's actually the biggest thing.
It's just seeing the that really gray box with all the different words on it, and it can be intimidating, all the different directories and everything. But,
especially going from something small to Windows Movie Maker, or maybe another small thing, to something like Sony Vegas or Adobe Premiere Pro. It's very intimidating, but don't let that stop you, because it cannot be simpler once you really get into the meat of it. It's a very simple craft. It's just about knowing where the things are.
Yep, everything flows together pretty much perfectly. You just got to find where it starts. So definitely 100% agree with that. So one of your most popular and well-received contributions to the community has been a reimagination of the Hytale trailer in an action movie style. So what is the inspiration behind this remake, and did you expect it to be this well received?
It's really funny that you guys asked that because I had no idea that it was going to be popular at all. I was in between other projects. I have other projects on my Twitter, like the drawing of a Quebec and the drawing of a Trork from the game Hytale, which I've been working on. And I was working on another video at the time, but I was like, well, I'd like to make something else in the meantime to fill over the content drop at the time. So I was like, I'm just going to throw together the Hytale trailer with some action music. And it took me literally about 15 minutes, which is a little embarrassing just because it's like, people seem to like it, but it took me 15 minutes. It was pretty easy, but I like how it came out, and apparently so do other people, which is really nice to hear.
Yeah. Once again, I can relate to that. Having like, so it's weird how it works out, right?
Yeah.
Like something that you spent like 15 minutes on blows up, and something you spent like 3 days straight on just like doesn't go anywhere.
It completely flops, and you question your whole meaning of life.
Yep. I can relate. So
yeah, terrible.
Another work of yours. Yeah, 100%. So another work of yours we'd like to highlight is the 2D Christmas Quebec and Torque animation you made back in December. So what software did you use to make it, and what process for creating this animation did you go about?
All right. So like I mentioned, I was making those Torque and Quebec drawings. So the Christmas animation is really interesting because I pretty much have never animated in my life before. So this was my first animation, and I did it probably the worst way that an animator would say. I did it 100% within the editing program, which is terrible and laggy, and I would never do it again. And I'm trying to find new ways to do that using an actual program. But basically what I did is I created those drawings of the characters in a Photoshop program, well, Adobe Photoshop. And for every body part that I wanted to move, I had a layer. So what I did was I basically uploaded every layer of the drawing to Adobe Premiere, and I just individually moved the parts to and it took absolutely forever. My goal with that video was to have it out by Christmas, and I started it 10 days before Christmas, so I'm glad I even got it out.
Yeah, that I've done similar things because I've never animated before, and it is very time consuming because you can't like parent pieces of images together that make them move it like on armwood.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I can get that. You have to like account for all of that manually, which is just,
you basically have to create like a flowing scene out of like really janky movements that you've made. It's really it's pretty difficult.
Yeah. So are you happy with the final product, and what changes, if any, would you make to improve it?
I'm pretty happy with the final product. There are a few things, like someone in the comments mentioned that it would have been cool if the stick that one of the Quebecs dropped caught on fire and burned the tree down. And I was like, that's hilarious. And not only did I find it hilarious, I thought about like actually remaking it, but it just took too long. So there's that, and then there's some like little graphical mistakes from here and there just because I didn't have much time. So stuff like that, but overall I'm pretty happy with it.
That's fair. So comparisons and differences between Minecraft and Hytale is something everyone's talked about a lot, and it's been compared like due to the Hytale team's origin and the voxel-based nature of the game, obviously. So what are your thoughts on that comparison, and how much do you think both games will actually have in common?
So it's pretty inevitable, right? I mean, they're pretty similar games just from the look of it. And not only that, but they're made by people who have had their foot in the Minecraft community for quite a while now, and that's been their career. So obviously the comparisons are going to be made. Obviously people who play Minecraft are going to go and play this game. Like, that's the core audience. That being said, I don't think that the comparisons are too fair in the end, because it is a different game. You can look at it, and you can look at the trailer just from the few things that we've seen. It seems like there's a lot of things that make this game stand out from Minecraft, mostly to be the tools that it gives creators. It gives us like world edit and like a modeling tool and a movie maker, none of which Minecraft have. You have to mod all that stuff in. It's a fantasy game. I feel like there's a lot different between the two games that I think that they can, they shouldn't be compared completely all the time.
Right. So do you believe this comparison could be beneficial to Hytale's success, or do you think it just kind of ends up weighing the game down?
That's interesting, because I feel like it could completely go either way. Like it could totally, I feel like maybe because of Minecraft's success, that the game will be popular at first. But there's also the thing where it's like, okay, well, maybe that because of the comparisons, people will look down on it like a Minecraft knockoff, because we've had so many of those. So maybe it'll be okay.
It can kind of lean either way. I think that, like, because it's, you know, like in the algorithm on YouTube, you can, like, it's kind of attached to Minecraft 2.0, which is like lets more people find it. But then again, some people are going to write it off as a clone. So I think it can just go either way. Like, I think it helps and it doesn't at the same time.
That is interesting there. You know, what you said, though, is that the YouTube algorithm could actually play a huge role in whether it's successful or not, you know, because, you know, will people be clickbaiting this game as Minecraft 2 for the first week? And that might even boost the game's success right off the bat.
That's true. I think that's actually probably going to happen. You're going to see a lot of Minecraft 2 question marks in titles for a long time.
Quote, and then parenthesis, not a joke.
Yeah, it's something crazy like that. And it actually, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, it'd be kind of interesting if basically the spiritual successor to Minecraft has the same bring up as Minecraft, because Minecraft grew because of YouTube and YouTube grew because of Minecraft.
Yeah,
so it'd be interesting to see if the same thing happens with Hytale.
That would be really interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if you can grow YouTube any more than it already has, but maybe the other half will work out and Hytale will blow up because
when it comes to YouTube.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see if that happens. So
for sure.
Anyway, with all the focus on the comparisons between Hytale and Minecraft, what do you think will separate Hytale from Minecraft more specifically? Like, what differences does Hytale have, and how will they affect the game and its community?
Well, like I said earlier, like, to me the biggest difference with this. To me, this game, Hytale itself, is a game for Minecraft fans. And it sounds weird saying that because it's a different game. But look, it's made by Minecraft fans, the Hytale team, who have been working with the Minecraft engine for so long. And they just got fed up and decided to make their own thing. And just from that premise, to me, it sounds like something that could be pretty successful in the community. But mostly, in my opinion, to like hardcore Minecraft players. You know, the Minecraft players that have been around in the game for so long that they're getting a little tired of Mojang not giving them the things that they really want. And here comes Hytale with all these bells and whistles, giving the things that, you know, we've been asking for quite a while. Like, not least to say, built-in world edit, which is really nice. You know.
And Mojang is completely neglected, like, the Java edition of the game, because they want everyone to move to, you know, Bedrock edition with the microtransactions and, you know, the Microsoft version. They have been, like, neglecting Java edition, and the players know that. The players can feel that.
We can definitely feel it.
Minecraft does not feel like a modern game on Java. It
feels very neglected.
It feels janky. There's problems. It's just, people can tell. So I think this has been like almost a long time coming kind of thing.
It definitely has been. I mean, look at how many people spam Cave Update in all of their Mojang's ups, and they still haven't done it.
Yeah, in the 10 years that this game has been out, caves basically haven't been touched.
Caves have been the same. That's crazy to me. So here comes Hytale, and they're like, we're the savior. We're going to give you the game that you guys actually want.
Exactly. And I think that's also going to be a big like factor in Hytale's success, is the fact that like Microsoft really has just been like pushing away Java edition slowly. I think that's going to be a big thing for a lot of Hytale players.
Yeah.
So
in my opinion, the reason Microsoft does all that is to promote their microtransactions in the Bedrock edition, and that's all I can really say on that matter. Like, that's what it appears to me. Like, So anyway, the Hytale team, alongside a majority of the initial Hytale fan base, have a clear origin in Minecraft, obviously, like we mentioned before. Right.
So with this in mind, do you expect the communities of both Hytale and Minecraft to compare? Like, what differences and similarities do you think will be within them, like of the communities themselves?
There, in my opinion, I feel like there's going to be quite a big divide in the communities from the beginning. And not only a divide, but maybe even a rivalry. Because like we were talking before, if this game's made for hardcore Minecraft fans who've been with the game for a long time, you know, there's still a lot of like, you know, new Minecraft fans who have come out and started playing the game in the last, like, let's say 2 years or 3 years, because it's gotten pretty popular mainstream wise. I think there's going to be a little bit of a rivalry because, you know, us Hytale fans will go over to the game and we'll be like, haha, Minecraft fans don't get all the things they ask for, and we do. They might take offense to that, and so there'll have a little bit of a rivalry. But eventually, I feel like the communities will have a little bit of a healthy relationship going on after a while.
Yeah, I think that's actually probably pretty true. I think it will be a bit divisive at first, specifically in the Hypixel community.
Yeah,
because like there's going to be people on there that like are stuck to Minecraft's like PvP, because Hytale's obviously going to be more focused on like PvP in some ways, more than Minecraft. And Hypixel has been pretty focused on PvP server-wise with Minecraft, and obviously there's going to be some difference in between the two systems. It's not going to be exactly like Java Edition's like 1.8 PvP, obviously.
Yeah.
So some people, if they think the system is weird, might go back to the Hypixel server and stick with that because it's something they're more familiar with. It really depends, I think, how it turns out, because there's a lot of like, you know, to name a few names, like Refraction, he's a PvP YouTuber. He's very good at PvP.
Will they switch
it'll
over?
Be interesting. Exactly. It'll be interesting to see if they switch over to Hytale instead of Minecraft.
That'll actually be a big contributing factor to like the success of the new server as well.
Exactly.
Is whether or not people are willing to switch. It's interesting.
YouTubers are gonna.
Sorry.
Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead. It's fine.
I was just gonna say it's interesting that you even mentioned like the two servers like that, because I feel like it's going to get really weird later in the game, because, you know, they have their Minecraft server and that's their bread and butter at the moment. They're going to make their Hytale server. And what server do you think is going to have more effort and love put into it? Like, they have less restrictions on their Hytale server. They can make whatever they want on that. So I feel like more and more effort's going to be put into their Hytale server and less on their Minecraft server.
Yeah, I can see that happening. I know they have two different teams for each. So
do they?
There won't be any less effort necessarily on the Hypixel side of things, like the Minecraft side of things. But the issue comes with Minecraft is restricted in nature, and Hytale, they're making Hytale. They can do literally anything.
They can do whatever they want, and even from some of the games they showed in the trailer, it's like this is way more than Minecraft can do.
100%. So that honestly, I think, is going to be a big enticement for players to move over. It's like, hey, we can actually do like what we want over here, and like you're going to see like a totally like quality change between the Hytale server and the Hypixel server. So I think those are
excited for too.
Yeah, it's going to be like a totally different like world of like quality of life and stuff. It's just going to be amazing. Be so much better. Yeah. So moving on here to hopes and plans for Hytale. So this will be a little bit more speculation, I would think. So, you know, keep that in mind. But there is still about a year, give or take, however long, before we can expect Hytale to come out, leaving everyone with time to think about what they will do with Hytale. What are your plans for Hytale when it releases, and what sort of content can we expect to see from you when that does happen?
That's a good question, sir. And I'll answer it right now with a vague answer. I plan on making movies and TV show shorts or something along those lines. From what they've shown on the trailer, they have a pretty strong movie maker thing. And couple that with the model maker, I think you could end up making some pretty awesome little videos. And I've dipped my toe in that with the replay mod on Minecraft before. I've made a trailer for a Minecraft server called Uncharted before. And that was really fun. And so what I'm really looking forward to once the game comes out is just, you know, getting a crack at all their tools, you know, not just the movie maker, but the model maker, you know, their resource packs, any modding, like all of that stuff. I want to just try it all and see what I like.
Right. I will say that I'm definitely very excited for like the whole movie making thing. I hope they nail that, because Minecraft cinematics have gotten like pretty like next level, like with the stuff people do. Like whenever you have those like insanely high texture packs and bump mapping on the blocks, and like people are zooming in and it's like real life quality like textures.
You get the
it's
shaders on.
Yeah, like there's some next level things people do with Minecraft. I hope that, you know, maybe obviously not the lighting systems and stuff like that will be in Hytale, especially on day one.
Not on day one.
I'm hoping that they nail that movie maker, like to a point, because the thing is about replay mod is the way they handle keyframing and the timelines is a little weird.
It's pretty janky on replay mod because the keyframes aren't as meticulous as you'd like them to be.
Exactly. And I'm hoping Hytale utilizes keyframes, but like not so vaguely. You know what I mean? That is something I look forward to because I'm, into film, like I'm a nerd for it, and I love the idea of being able to like make something like that. So hopefully that turns out to be really well.
I would love to see like the community come together and make like a movie. That would be the coolest thing in the world to me. Just a bunch of people like acting and like doing audio. That would be awesome.
Basically like the old machinima days, but even better.
Bring back the machinima days.
Exactly. So Hytale has appealed to a huge amount of people, with thousands of people speculating on how successful the game will be and what it could become in the future. What are your personal hopes for Hytale, and how influential do you believe the game could eventually become?
I think the game has a chance to kick Mojang's butt in gear. That being said, I don't think realistically that it will be bigger than Minecraft. I don't think that's a chance. That might sound a little negative, but Minecraft is such a big game. It's just so hard to reach those expectations. Technically it actually can't be as big as Minecraft, because on day one, at least, Hytale isn't going to be cross-plat on multiple platforms. Right.
Because Bedrock, you can play on any platform with
literally everything
at any time. Hytale isn't going to do that on day one. They're not going to have they're not going to be everywhere. So theoretically, in the first while, it literally can't.
No.
But, I guess time will tell.
There's always a chance.
How it'll work out.
And I'm not saying the game will be small by any means. I'm sure it'll have a healthy player base. The comparison I would use personally is like the Coke and Pepsi. Hytale's the Pepsi. Lots of people prefer it over Coke. Some people don't. Coke probably has more of a following.
But I can kind of see that, sure. It's going to be interesting to see, because the thing is that competition with Bedrock is going to be like near impossible. Because Bedrock, they managed to convince PlayStation, right, to go cross-plat. That like never happens.
They're never gonna get it.
Right. That's like a feat not many people can do. Fortnite managed to do it, but like it's Fortnite. So
it's Fortnite.
It'll be interesting to see, because the thing is, though, if there's enough clout behind a game, PlayStation will, like, if there's enough behind it. The thing is it's an astronomical record to beat. Minecraft is the top game, like the best selling game in history.
It's just like keep your expectations low. It's like, don't expect this game to be the next Fortnite. Like, it's going to be a very popular game. And you mentioned like even just getting Sony to like let them. How about them even being able to make that? Like, they're having a hard enough time making their engine as it is. Like, let's see them try to port that to every console within the next year. I don't know. Probably not.
It's going to be hard, but I don't know. There's a chance, but to keep expectations realistic, it'll likely be a competitor to Minecraft. Definitely, I think it could beat the Java edition, because the Java edition has been kind of dying for a while.
I would love to see it. I would love to see it beat the Java edition.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens, and if it gets popular enough, then maybe these things will happen. But we'll just have to see. Time will tell. So, last normal question before we get to the community question. What are your thoughts in regards to the overall Hytale hype and team's actions in regards to it? Do you think the Hytale team is doing enough to keep the hype for the game up? And if not, what should they do to improve?
So they're in a pretty scary place right now regarding hype. So they announced the game. They have 60 million views on that, probably more. The hype was out of this earth. People were like, it's Minecraft 2, it's finally here. And now here we are, it's 2020, March. Blog posts are coming out, but people aren't getting as excited for it. The blog posts were keeping people tied for a while. Now they're coming out and people are like, we need a little bit more. And that's just the start of it, in my opinion. So it's just going to keep going down from here. My best recommendation is people love to throw this around, but the demo, I think that a demo would absolutely, just like a very small, bare bones version of the game would absolutely do insane numbers for them. And then along with another trailer before the game drops, of course.
Yeah, I think a gameplay trailer would definitely be a big thing, for sure.
Yeah.
That's going to be a very big, stoke in the fire, for sure.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think the hype has been on a downtrend, and that's just, I made a video on my personal channel a while back talking about, what side Hytale kind of has to, what road Hytale has to go down in order to actually succeed coming up to 2021. I mean, we have a year past now. You know,
it's still a while. It's still a while away.
Maybe longer. We don't know.
We don't know. We don't have a release date, which is another big problem.
And we don't know if the beta is coming out in 2021 or the game.
Right.
Like, that's the thing. We don't have any information. And I think that's been kind of Hytale's issue for the whole time going.
That's a good point.
There hasn't been enough information. We haven't been told much. There hasn't been a ton of transparency. All these keywords have been brought up in talks about Hytale a ton. And I think we're just going to be seeing that moving forward, because Hytale has made tons of promises before about keeping the community up to date, and I mean, I'm not saying they lied, but it didn't happen.
They seem a little preoccupied to deal with that,
right? Because they were like, with this last couple blog posts that came out, they were like, we're going to bring up progress updates, and it's going to be more frequent, and it wasn't.
Then it's like 2 months later. Oh, where's it?
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not like trying to put pressure on the Hytale team, especially because some of them have probably watched this podcast before.
Of course not.
So like, I'm not trying to say like Hytale is lying and should do all
lovely
like
people who are making a lovely game.
They're doing what they have to do, and in all realisticness, this is an indie studio making something that has AAA attention.
We cannot forget that.
Right, like this has gotten AAA attention, 50 mil
definitely does.
Plus on a trailer.
Yeah,
and it's an indie studio. This is their first game. Riot's behind them, but Riot didn't inherit them. They're not part of Riot. They're just giving investment. Their investment, and so like, it's crazy. It's crazy what they've been able to pull off, and the game hasn't even come out yet.
It is,
but I think transparency and keeping that hype alive is going to be the thing in the future. Now, then again, Riot is behind them, so this is a theory I've had for a while. Like, what might happen is they're fine with letting the game kind of sit stagnant for a while, because Riot might be willing to pump a ton of money into advertising,
like into marketing on YouTube or something.
Right, because Riot has seen that 50 mil. I know they have. They have seen that trailer.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's no way they have not seen like how much hype that trailer has brought. So more than likely, Riot is more enticed to spend money on this game because of the hype. So,
and they have every intent. They have every like reason to as well. Like,
exactly.
They're currently holding a potential Minecraft killer. You know, like not everyone can say that.
Right. That's and this is very rare, I think, in the gaming industry, that something that's so against current trend comes out and blows everyone's blows everyone out of the expectations out of the water. That doesn't happen very often.
You wouldn't expect to see a Minecraft sequel do so well when Fortnite's at its peak, you know? Exactly.
So like that on its own like probably clicks at like to Riot, like, oh crap, okay, this might be something. So what I think is going to happen, which honestly probably a smart play, is they're just going to grind out the game until it's pretty much finished, come out in 2021, and Riot's going to pump a ton of money into marketing, and all of a sudden we'll have Cyberpunk levels of like advertisement going on. That's what I think is going to happen.
That would probably actually, no joke, that would actually probably be the smartest way to go about it, because if they keep doing what they're doing right now, they actually have, you know, we could be burnt out by the time the game comes out. Why not let us just froth at the mouths waiting, and then just come out with a bang? Come out with like a multi-level marketing advertisement campaign, come out with a trailer, come out with a demo, all on the same day.
Right. Like if they have this like, because I mean, think of like Cube. I'm not gonna say Hytale's like Cube World.
No,
but think
it's
of
not.
Like Cube World's hype, but amplified, because Cube World disappeared for years,
Cube World,
and then came out, and everyone like that was one guy that made that. He didn't have Riot behind him. He didn't have marketing for, you know, like he didn't have money for marketing. Imagine Hytale disappears for a year, essentially, comes back. All of a sudden, there's like advertisements all over YouTube. There's like
the world's losing
banners
their minds
everywhere. E3 all of a sudden has a panel for it or something. Like imagine that. Like then all of a sudden the hype's back in full force. We see more on the game because obviously we'd be exposed to a lot more information during that time period.
The hype would be absolutely unreal at that point.
Just like blowing everyone out of the water out of nowhere. If Riot would do that, I think would be insane.
That's actually something that would actually be possible these days because of the internet. Like back in the day before the internet, stuff like that would be insane. But because the internet has such a good way of generating hype, like they could pull that off if they wanted to.
Exactly. So that's the way I think it should happen, because that would make the most sense. But I have no idea what's going on. Obviously, this is all speculation, by the way.
Speculation.
I should
Reinforcing that.
We know nothing, so
we are just plebs from the community.
Exactly. So moving on to the community question we have for today. Bubba is King asks, how is the current state of Hytale in your eyes?
Well, I mean, we were kind of just talking. That's kind of the whole podcast.
Yeah, but I gotta include the community question. Sure. So
I'll just say it's looking better every blog update. Like the game itself. Like if we're just talking about like the game itself is looking better every blog update. I'm getting more excited to play it every blog update. You know, every time I see new things added to it, I'm like, this game is the game I've been waiting for my entire life. Since Minecraft came out. So exactly. I'm definitely excited for it. And yeah, that's the current state.
Yeah, Hytale is a game I think is better than ever. The hype, not as best as ever, but
it's on a low point, but it definitely has some swing.
Yeah, it's still there. I mean, the old Hytale community that was around like back when I was really involved in it is just a shell like of what it used to be.
I see.
But like, it's still there. There's
but
still
we got the Hycast.
People there. Right, Hycast is here. There's still some of those channels that are still alive. There's still people there. This community isn't gone by any fashion.
Exactly.
It's still definitely there. But I think the right before launch period is going to be the most important for Hytale.
Sure.
And I think that's going to be where we see a lot of go time.
Well, I'm excited for that.
Of course.
Sure.
Yep. Of course. Time will tell. We'll have to wait and see. And yeah. So with all that said, that's all the questions we had for you today. If there's anything you would like to say, socials, anything like that, feel free to do so now.
Okay. Well, it's been an absolute blast on this podcast. I love you guys. I love the podcast. I watch every episode. I like every episode just to keep those views and retentions up. So I'm very, very humbled to be on here. If you guys want to see any, like, all I do is just edit quirky videos. Sometimes I'll animate. I have my Twitter is just full of all that at Jodaman20. So if you ever like to see any of that, drop me a follow. Make sure to subscribe to Hycast as well. That's everything for me, I think.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us today, man. It's been an absolute pleasure.
For sure.
Make sure to follow Jodaman on Twitter. All of his links will be in the description below. Thank you for tuning into this week's podcast, and consider subscribing if you'd like to hear more. This has been your host, Fezzy, and we'll see you here next time.
This video was sponsored by Virtual Gladiators. Virtual Gladiators have everything you need to make your very own Minecraft or Hytale server. Click the link in the description to find out more.